Hey, college students, ready for some rapid-fire facts? From Aish, this is You Know It, and today we're talking about Hamas. Fact: Hamas grew out of anti-Semitic Islamist movements. Hamas originated from the Muslim Brotherhood, a radical Islamist group established in Egypt that was violently against a Jewish state. Ahmed Hassan, influenced by the Brotherhood, created a Palestinian branch in Gaza and co-founded Hamas in 1987. Fact: Hamas is dedicated to Israel's destruction and killing Jews. In Arabic, Hamas is an acronym for Islamic Resistance Movement. Hamas's charter calls for the destruction of Israel and Jews, and the creation of the Islamist government in all of Israel, Gaza, and areas governed by Palestinian Authority. Fact: Hamas has attacked Israel since the 1990s. These attacks have included suicide bombings against Israeli civilians in cafes, restaurants, and on buses, small arms attacks, improvised explosives, and rocket attacks. In 2021 alone, Hamas launched over 4,000 missiles at Israel, causing over 300 casualties and deaths. Fact: Hamas was voted into power. After Israel withdrew from Gaza in 2005, Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza held elections and Hamas won. While Hamas was later ejected from the West Bank's government, they tightened their grip on Gaza, and there hasn't been an election since. Fact: Hamas is a designated terrorist organization. Hamas is a designated terrorist organization by the United States, EU, Canada, Britain, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. Fact: Hamas oppresses women and political opponents. Women are barred from most government positions in Gaza and face widespread discrimination. Hamas's charter even declares that Muslim women are important because they manufacture men. Human Rights Watch calls Hamas's torture of political opponents crimes against humanity. Fact: Hamas uses its people as human shields. Hamas regularly fires rockets, artillery, and mortars from facilities which should be protected during war, like schools, hospitals, and mosques. This is immoral and illegal. They do it because A, they know Israel will hesitate before firing back at them to avoid civilian casualties, meaning Hamas knows Israel is moral and cares about Palestinian civilians. And B, if Israel does respond, they'll be blamed for targeting civilians. Fact: Hamas is funded by billions of dollars. Hamas collects $150 million annually in taxes on goods entering Gaza from Egypt. Hamas receives $100 million annually from Iran, $360 million plus fuel from Qatar, and $300 million annually from Turkey. All this is on top of the international aid money that flows into Gaza, much of which is stolen by Hamas. Fact: Iran trains Hamas's army. In addition to funding, Iran provides Hamas with weapons, military training, cybersecurity, and expertise to manufacture military equipment inside Gaza. It was discovered that Hamas terrorists trained in Iran before committing the October 7th massacre. Fact: Hamas built 300 miles of terror tunnels. Hamas has used billions in aid money to build a network of terror tunnels underneath Gaza with entrances hidden under houses, mosques, and schools, guaranteeing that any military assault on them will cause widespread civilian casualties. While Hamas leaders and fighters shelter in the tunnels, they're off limits to civilians. Oh, and Hamas has built no bomb shelters in Gaza. Fact: Hamas bombs Israel daily. Hamas has regularly attacked Israel for years. Since October 7th, 2023, Hamas has launched missiles into Israel daily, aiming for major centers such as Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. 20% of Hamas's missiles malfunction and fall within Gaza, causing casualties among the civilian population. Fact: Hamas's leaders are protected. Many of Hamas's leaders don't even live in Gaza. Their political chief is in Qatar, while others reside in England, Turkey, and Lebanon, where they have citizenship and own businesses while inflicting terror on Israel from the safety of their homes. Fact: Hamas is admired in much of the world. After Hamas's attacks on Israel on October 7th, 2023, that murdered 1,400 and kidnapped over 200, leaders of Iraq, Syria, Iran, Lebanon complimented Hamas on the attacks. In the West, some groups, including chapters of the Democratic Socialists for America and independent chapters of Black Lives Matter, spoke warmly of Hamas's attacks. From Aish, this has been You Know It, a series where we tackle questions big and small about Judaism, even the ones you're too afraid to ask. Hit that like and subscribe button to follow along, and drop a comment with what topics you want us to cover next.